I had to. I couldn't. I told you I couldn't. The emotions wouldn't allowed me to been able to interview Bill potentially for his last time. So I didn't want. It's like, when you know it's over with somebody, I don't want to see them move out at the two thieves in the night.
Okay, so you don't want to have the final talk and exchange the sweatshirts and the stuff that's left at the house, and you don't want any of that.
I don't want none of that stuff. I'm already hurting deep down enough that we're even at this point having this conversation, because I think it would be the second dumbest move in all of Boston sports. And
whoa. What's the dumbest move in all of Boston sports history?
Letting Brady go. And the second one, Kraft is going to have his hands in, as well as the first one, and letting Brady go. Now he's going to have his hands in and letting Bill go.
Really? You think this would be a huge mistake to say goodbye to Bill Belichick?
A massive mistake, because I still think, based on what we've seen from Bill as a coach, I still think Bill is a great coach and still can get a team to play and run through a brick wall for him when a team had, was basically. And I said this: if there were other guys coaching this team, I don't know if they'd have one win, because they might have just gave up on the season.
So after they got demolished by the Cowboys, they come home in a must-win game against the Saints, who are a bad team, and they get shut out.
Yeah, they do. And get shut out, and I think a lot of it.
Why didn't they run through a brick wall?
I think a lot of it was, in fact, because Robert did not want to pull the plug on his baby Mac Jones, and that led to, I think, a lot of guys in that locker room have been torn.
In the Twitch chat right now, and just a reminder that you can watch this show every day on Twitch. Go to Twitch and follow WEEI. You can also watch it on YouTube. And thank you to those of you who did that all last year.
You're welcome.
J.M. Morgan says letting Bill stay this long is the second worst decision ever made in Boston sports. So that J.M. Morgan would agree.
Well, weren't
with
you a playoff team 2 years ago?
Get the duck boats ready.
Well, I mean, but that's the new. When you look at the landscape of the NFL, listen, it's all about getting in the playoffs.
If you think Mac Jones was horrendous, then being a playoff team with Mac Jones as your quarterback,
pretty damn good.
Is a pretty good accomplishment.
Pretty damn good. Imagine what happens if you get a real quarterback. Look what this team's going to be able to do.
Bill hates quarterbacks.
Well, I think Bill, he's learned from his mistakes, and I think another thing where they're going to be able to sit down and go, I think Bill might be at the point to say, all right, I'm going to pull back a little bit from maybe doing some of the front office stuff. I'm going to pull back.
Do you think he would ever agree to do that? I hear people make that argument that
I think he's already done it. I think he's already done it, where people's voices in the front office are just as loud. And I think there are a lot of times where he goes, okay, let's go with that guy.
And by the way, big game Sunday, Greg, not just for the draft pick, a loss ties Bill Belichick with Landry as the losingest coach in NFL history.
I mean, it would be a fitting departure if it happened during a snow game. I mean, talk about, like, there was somebody texting in earlier. I can't believe this. They want him to be fired Vince McMahon style during the game.
Have to come out with a microphone, the music blares. Oh, God, it's Robert Kraft's music.
Do you think we'll have any indication at the end of that game? Like, at the end of Devin McCourty's last game, we said, it looked like his last. The end of Patrice Bergeron, we said it looked like his last. You don't think there'll be any different?
Patrice said he was done. Devin kind of alluded like, I'm done. Where Bill has never said that he's done. Like, even with the Brady one, I don't even think we knew about Brady, because that was a playoff, so we didn't expect that to be the last game against the Titans.
Ken Laird, Chris Curtis, TM had it right all year.
When you look at this game, I look at it where I don't think Bill is done coaching. No. So,
I don't know. Who knows? I don't think you know. I
just feel like yesterday, like, the way he spoke to you guys was like a final goodbye. Like, he was clearly kind of just like, grateful for the time.
What was it about that interview yesterday?
Like, the way he kind of reflected a little bit with you guys and was like very grateful, and he's like, yeah, Greg, like, I get it, like, I appreciate it, I really do appreciate the questions, I appreciate. He even, like, he said you guys and then singled out Courtney, and he's like, and I mean Courtney,
yeah,
and so I just, to me, it was like his swan song. It's like, this is it. I'm not going to be on with you guys anymore ever again. It was a pleasure. You guys are actually better than most other media outlets, so I appreciate you. And that's it.
What was yesterday? Bill's what? Last interview of the season, right? So maybe that's just him with his last interview being.
Yeah, but that's not how he sounded last season.
Yeah, I think it was.
No,
yeah,
no,
I think
it was
so.
not.
Go back and get the audio. I think Bill, when he wraps up his last season interview, I think he's very cheerful and saying goodbyes to everybody. I mean, wrote Courtney a letter.
The way in which Bill and his people were scheduling the interview also made me believe that it was initially going to be done with another set of hosts because of the holiday and all of that. And we're very happy that Bill joined us. And honestly, he was great all year. It was a pleasure having him on the show. It's been a great thing for this program to have him on. And I think no matter how many times he may not answer something, what we heard yesterday was a guy that sounded like he understood where he is, where he's going, and I don't think it's going to be as the head coach of the Patriots next year.
On the Subaru of New England text line, 339 text for Wiggy that says, here we go, with Wiggy saying, this was Bill's best coaching performance ever this year.
I never said it was his best coaching performance ever.
Was it a pretty good one considering the roster?
It was good because of what your offense was. I mean, even look at the Bills game. And you look at the Bills game, and this past Bills game
and the first one,
your offense couldn't have been as. I mean, that's probably the worst offense I've seen. Is Zappy was throwing balls to the other team, and your defense kept holding it down and holding it down and holding it down. You don't think that those guys in that locker room, especially on the defensive side of the football, especially those coaches, go, man, if we could just get a quarterback in here that doesn't make mistakes, understands what we want. You don't think Billy O'Brien wants that? And somebody asked me during the year, called in and said, having like a guy like Joe Flacco. I mean, you might even brought it up.
Yeah.
I would kill for a guy like Joe Flacco now, just based on what your team is.
What would you want, Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
But Wiggy, that's the problem. If Bill's here, look at how he treats the position. Like, I don't know why you can't see those two things.
What do you mean how he treats the position? I think he made a mistake, and he realizes that he was wrong.
About what?
The position. The quarterback position. Yeah.
He's had 16 roster moves at that position alone this year.
Well, come to find out, he wasn't allowed to get Lamar Jackson. So don't you think? And then there was the report. I'm starting to believe the report from what's the dude from New York, Cawthon, whatever his name is, that they were in on Aaron Rodgers. So I'm starting to believe.
Did you say he wasn't allowed to get Lamar Jackson?
Oh,
didn't he say on this show literally yesterday that like there was a lot of moving parts?
There were a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, you know what that moving parts are? Robert going, nah, Bill, we're not spending that type of money on it.
You think that's what Bill was saying?
Of course it is. Of course it is. And the fact that we heard Cawthon go, Cotton, whatever his name is, go, hey, Aaron Rodgers did not. New England was looking to make a move to get Aaron Rodgers. I think Bill wanted to move on from Mac Jones, and he wasn't allowed to. And that just shows that there's more power for other people in the building.
Didn't you say that Bill didn't want Mac Jones at 15?
No.
So you think it was a Bill Belichick pick? Because you just said he was forced to play him.
No, I said he didn't want him at 15, and Robert made it a point to say
so that
this is the direction
he didn't even value the position
Curtis,
then.
because there was nobody he wanted at that position.
He lost Brady, was going to replace him with Stidham. Then
he replaced him with Cam on the COVID
when he was available in June for $1 million.
Yes, Curtis, you're missing the point. I think Bill realized that, he thought he could do it without Brady and a player like that. Then he realized, I can't do it that way. Now I need to go in a direction where I need a quarterback like that. So that was the Aaron Rodgers. That was the Lamar Jackson. And that's when Robert put the kibosh on it and goes, no, we're not spending that type of money.
Draft Mac Jones.
And I think he learned from his mistakes.
Yeah.
Curtis's things is that Bill will never learn from his mistakes.
So in your mind, next week, Robert Kraft says goodbye to Bill Belichick.
Yep.
Second biggest mistake ever made in Boston
because
sports.
Bill's going to go somewhere else, and the NFL has already shown us this year that you can turn a team around like that.
Yeah.
He's going to go somewhere else. That team is going to have success. If you do get Mayo here, you're getting everybody that Bill used to have.
All right, well, the future of one William Belichick hangs in the balance.